Hey, what's up? Hello, it's me, Katie, and we're here to talk about the 9 books that I read in February. It would have been 11, but one of them is Women and Other Monsters by who cares? It's a nonfiction that I didn't even want to read in the first place. Can't even tell you why I did it. And then the other one is a book I will be reading for a reading vlog coming next month. And I could talk about it now, but then it would like give away my reactions and like spoil it for you. So like I'm not gonna do that. The first of which being The Stand by Stephen King. It's 1,500 pages. And for what? And for what? I'll tell you why. Because the first 500 pages are 5 stars shooting out of the freaking sun. Fantastic. The rest of the book, Boresville. What? It's not even the same book. Like literally the first half of the book and the second half of the book are like 2 completely different books that Stephen King wrote and then was like, oh, I don't really have a beginning for this one or like an end for this one. Let's just put it together and sell it. I was like, what is he even talking about? Like the first half is like medical science, and then the second half is like fantastical. People are levitating and shit, and like dreaming of like demons or something, and God. Oh, it is exceptionally written in a lot of ways, and the commentary on society and like the good and evil as far as like society goes, not as far as like God and the devil, because that shit was like unnecessary and ridiculous. About society, it was so good, and there's so many absolutely phenomenal quotes in this book, like I can't even tell you. What it's about, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. It's about basically good old Rona, you know. Really it's about that, not gonna lie to you. He called it way in advance. And it happens in Atlanta, which hate that for me. Hate that for me. The CDC. So it's supposed to be like, there's this like virus that the government is working on because they're gonna like drop it in countries that they're in wars with. And it's this horrible like virus where it like attacks you and it kills you within like a day to like 3 days. But they're working on it, and somebody doesn't put the box with the virus back properly, and it escapes for like 3 seconds, and then they hesitate for a second, shutting the doors, and one guy gets out, and then he spreads it to like his wife and his baby, and they get like a couple states away, crash into a gas station where it spreads to like the gas station employee and somebody else that's there that takes it to their family, that takes it to like people they're babysitting. And it's like the spread of this virus throughout America. And it is so terrifying to watch it because it is so realistic. But I really, really did not like the second half of the book. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to shut up. Actually, let's just keep barreling right into shirt talking. And that is the Grishavers trilogy. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. I read Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm, read 12 pages of Ruin and Rising, and promptly gave up completely. Couldn't do it. I buddy read this with Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte, who is absolutely amazing. Like, A+, A1, go follow her. She's so good. She asked me to buddy read this with her, and I was so excited. And I had a horrible time. But here's the thing, so did she. If you want to watch my videos about these, please do so. If you want to watch her videos about this, please do so. I don't know if hers is out yet because she said she might be a little late on it. Not sure. If it is, I'll have it linked. The first book I gave 2 stars because I really liked the first half because I had a lot of expectations of where things were going to go, and then none of them happened, and then everything was just a freaking lie and I hated it. And then the second book I gave 1.5 stars. Honestly, like the whole journey was a 1 star, but I was like, what, did I feel bad? I don't know. This was a heavy disappointment. This is following Alina Starkov, who doesn't realize it, but she is apparently the sun summoner, or she has the magic of rays of light or the sun. And then there's the Darkling, who, you know, pretty clear has magic of the dark or shadows or whatever. And they're like the only known people that have any sort of ability like this. So he goes and like takes her and is like, I'm going to train you, like we should use your power for good. But then Alina also has this like piece of shit best friend who's super overprotective, and I hate him. Like, do we even need to talk about how much I hate Mal? Because I do. I get that not everybody else hates him, but I hate him, and it made me really hate the books, and Olivia hated him, and God bless. Anyway, bad experience. Next, I reread Acawar, or A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, in preparation for the fourth or fifth, in my opinion, I consider the fifth, book to come out in the ACOTAR series. I have never heard anybody talk highly about Acawar, and I freaking love it. That is my favorite book in the series. Like, listen, I'm you know what, it's not that I'm gonna get hate for that, but I'm definitely gonna get like disrespect. Like, people are gonna be like, what are you talking about? I love Acawar. I gave Acawar 4.5 stars, and I think that I gave Akamath 4 stars, and then ACOTAR 3 stars. I love her writing. I love the world building. I love the characters, but Acawar, like, I love side characters so much. And that was the book where you really got to see the side characters, and you got a lot of different storylines instead of just following a romance, which I find very boring. No offense, like, that's just not for me. I like more just like kind of catty goth, like just like banter and like fighting and like angst and stuff like that. And you really got that in Acawar. I do respect people's opinion of saying it was too easy of an ending, but I loved it. I cried. I thought it was great. Also teared up the second time I read it. Thought it was so sweet. If you don't know what ACOTAR is about, well, if you don't know what Acawar is about, I'm not going to tell you, but ACOTAR, the series, is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it is about a girl, Feyre, who's our main character throughout the series. She's very Katniss Everdeen-like, but she is in poverty and despair. She has 2 sisters and her dad, and they have no money, can barely feed themselves, and she goes out in the woods to hunt for meat to feed them, and she unknowingly kills a giant wolf that turns out to be a fae. And yeah, this book's about fairies. Kills a fae, and it triggers this whole line of a story where, like, her killing this fae, like, the high fae comes and says, okay, well, because you did this, you have to come and be like my prisoner, hostage. You have to come live with me in fairyland. And it is a Beauty and Beast retelling in that way. And she basically becomes like entrapped or like enthralled in, like, she has to break this curse that's been put on this fairy and his whole court, but she doesn't know how to do it and doesn't know how this has anything to do with her. It's very interesting. And then the second book is Hades and Persephone retelling, and if you don't like the first book, just wait, because it shoots off. It really gets there. Acawar, I really loved it. Yeah, point blank. The next book I read is A Court of Silver Flames. Oh my god, okay, so I know me making that face makes you think I gave it 5 stars. I didn't. I gave it 3.5 stars. Sorry to hear about it. And that's because the book was so insanely long, and you are really only following Nesta and Cassian, who are like my favorite characters, but you're really like following them, Rhysand and Feyre. And I was like, okay, Rhysand and Feyre, we already got like so much of you, which I get it. Like, I still care about them and I want to know about their storyline, but like, can you back up a second? And then also, we didn't get like any more. We got some Amarin, but not enough. And we didn't get any more, which is disgusting. We got some Azriel. We got no Elaine. We got no Lucian. I mean, we got no Tamlin, which I don't care about Lucian or Tamlin, but I'm saying there wasn't any of them. And you just got a couple new characters that I didn't give a single about. So what? Okay, anyway, this is the 4th or 5th book. And you're following Nesta, who's one of Feyre's sisters, in the steamiest, smuttiest relationship of all time. And I love their relationship, but the reason I didn't really like this book, I have a whole reading vlog about it if you want to watch it, but the reason that I didn't really like this is because of the second half of the book, where it just gets incredibly boring. And by that, I mean the main character energy of Nesta just got very grating, where it was like, can you stop crying and being just like depressingly boring? Like, can you just be a bad bitch again, please? Like, she's such a bad bitch, but in A Court of Silver Flames, you didn't see it. It was just her drinking and crying and training, and it was just not what it wasn't what I wanted it to be, but it was what I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. Then I finished this gigantic tome. This is an absolute brick. So this is Monstrous, Volume 1 by Marjorie Liu and Senda Takeda. And this is, or it's book 1. This is volumes 1, 2, and 3. I finished volumes 2 and 3. I read volume 1 in January. And this took me a very, very long time to read because it's so absolutely dense with like dialogue. Like there's so many words on the page, but the illustrations are also so in depth that you don't feel like you're being cheated by having to read so much, even though it's a graphic novel. And when I talk about illustrations, let me just show you. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even know if you can really see that. It's absolutely stunning. Also, can you take a look at these tabs? 98% of the cast of this graphic novel are women, and it's written by a woman, it's illustrated by a woman. This is a horror graphic novel, so do know that going in. If you want to read this, I definitely recommend it. I gave volume 1 a 4-star because I was so confused while I was reading it, because it takes a long time to get into this, which, God bless, if you have one of these bind up editions, there is glossaries in the back which make it a lot easier to read. But volume 2 and 3 both got 5 stars from me. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I'm so obsessed. But this is about our main character, who there's a war between there's a war happening, and there's like arcanics who are half like human, half animal hybrids, and our main character has an old god, or like an old demon, living inside of her, which is crazy and not great. And like old gods are like have the ability to like basically kill everyone and like take down the world. I'm not describing this very well, but she has an amputated arm, and this is the old god Zen, who I love. LOL. And he will like come out through her amputated arm, and it's like snakes and stuff. And it is really creepy. And it needs to feed on living things to survive. So it's one of those like her and him are very, very gray characters, which I absolutely love. Like he will just kill like anything standing around because he has to do that to survive, and doesn't think anything about it, but then also does have feelings. And then she will do whatever she has to survive. She's very egotistical, or not egotistical, she's very like survivalist, but then she does care about certain things. It's very interesting. And she's basically trying to find out like what happened to her mom and why this demon's living inside her and what she can do to get it out of her. And then all this other stuff happens. You know, if you think this sounds complicated, try reading it, because, oh my God, the first volume, I was like, I don't even think I understand like anything about this book, but it's worth it. Okay. I'm going to end it there by just saying it's worth it. The next thing I read was Orange Volume 1 by Ichigo Takano. You know, on my TBR for February, I said I was going to read the first 5 volumes. Hilarious. I gave this 3 stars. I'm not going to be continuing with the series. It's about a group of friends, okay? And this new boy comes into school. They greet him, and the main character is this girl who is very shy, very standoffish, never makes decisions. She receives a letter from herself 10 years in the future saying, you're going to meet this boy today. This is what I want you to do. Please don't do these things. And then, of course, she does those things, and the letter just keeps going on and on, saying like all the things that her future self wishes she hadn't done because they need to save this boy. So he has died somehow, presumably suicide, in the future, and her future self is telling her, I wish you had done these things and reached out to him. We could have saved his life. I don't like reading about suicide. I don't like reading about that. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's fresh. I don't want to. I understand it's very valid. I get that. Respect it, especially if you like reading about it, especially if you can relate to it, but I just cannot do it. Like, I literally was reading this and I was yelling at this main character, like, just say something, just do something, reach out to him, do something about it. Like, he's upset, reach out to him. Like, you are reading from your future self that he's gonna do something, like, just go up and say something to him. And she doesn't, because she's not strong enough to do that, and it just infuriated me. So I will not be continuing with the series. And the last book that I read for February, which is ending out on the highest of notes, is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. I was gifted this by Hannah from Hannah's Recent Reads, and I put her cute little letter in here. Oh my God, she's precious. And she told me, she was like, if this has asexual representation and it's a murder mystery and it's fantasy, like, girl, you're gonna love it. And she could not have been more right. I picked this up. It was on my February TBR, but it was the one that I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get to it. I picked it up and I blew through it in less than 24 hours. And I never like really sit down and read, especially for hours on end. And I sat down and could not get up. I was reading this book and I was so excited to flip the next page. I was so hungry while I was reading this because I was like, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up. No, I'm going to. And then I couldn't because I just wanted to know what was going to happen. I wanted to read the next page. It wasn't even that I wanted to know what was going to happen. I just wanted to keep reading it and I didn't want it to end. And that doesn't happen to me a lot. It's supposed to be about kids that find these magical doors that are in random places and look out of ordinary, and they open it and are transported to their perfect magical world that's like perfect and tailor-made for them. Now, something that's interesting about this that I didn't know is that not only is it fantasy, but it is quite dark. Like, it's a little bit more grim fairy tale, I guess, but all of the worlds are not great because the kids are all different, and some of them are like weird and some of them are messed up, so their perfect world is not all cotton candy and rainbows. It's like some messed up shirt, you know what I'm saying? So this is about when those kids in those magical worlds, they have a lot of rules, and if you accidentally break one of them, if you get exiled, if you accidentally leave, if you choose to leave, anything like that, you will go back to Earth or our world. And when kids end up back in our world, they don't want to be there because that's not home for them. And they've been gone a lot longer than it seems. Like, I think one girl was gone for like a couple days, but for her, it had been years. So they're constantly never able to give up this world and this home and desperately trying to get back there, but not many of them ever have the opportunity to go back. So they go to this boarding school or orphanage where Eleanor's wayward home for wayward children, because no one in the world believes these kids about where they went. So she takes them up and is like, listen, this is like a support group for you. We can teach you how to move on, or I can try to help you find your door. Let's see. But also, okay, that would have been enough for 170 pages, but not only that, it's a murder mystery. And oh my God, the murder mystery is why it's like the Diviners, that and also the group of misfit characters. But it is so like Naughty John in the Diviners. Like, if you loved that, you're gonna love this. Like, I do feel like if you love the Diviners, you will love this. There is asexual representation, there is transgender representation. Like, everybody looks different. Like, it's not like, oh my God, they're all just like freaking skinny pale white kids. And I absolutely love that. And in a 170 page book where you're building an entire world, you have a ton of new characters, you have a murder mystery, and you still have outstanding asexual and transgender representation, my mind was absolutely blown. I cannot recommend this book enough. If you don't love it, sucks to suck. This is one of my favorite books of all time now. All right, these are a couple of the books that I finished in February, as well as audiobooks and ebooks. I am going to roll into now me filling out my February reading journal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, four. All right, that's it. That is everything. I hope you had an amazing time watching this video. If you want to follow me on Goodreads or Instagram, they will be linked down below. If you want to see more bookish content from me, I am planning on posting not just once a week, which I've already been doing, but 2 and sometimes 3 times a week. So I would love if you subscribe to this channel. Have an amazing day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever you're having, and I will see you soon in a video coming soon. Bye.